You're worthy, Lord. I can sing of your love forever. I can sing of your love forever. I can sing of your love forever. Oh, I can sing of your love forever. Say, I can sing of your love forever. I can sing of your love forever. I can sing of your love forever. Of your loving kindness and grace. I can sing of your love forever. I can sing of your love forever. I can sing of your love forever. Yeah. When I think of your goodness and all that you've done for me, I can sing of your love forever. I can sing of your love forever. I can sing of your love. I can sing of your love forever. I can sing of your love. I can sing of your love forever.
Generation where we name it, claim it, and God does the rest. We're in a generation where we're taught to blab it and grab it because God's going to do the rest. We're in a generation where we're taught just to lift up your hands and somehow miraculously a blessing's going to fall in your lap. But often, my brothers and sisters, it does not work that way. God, yes, he is in the miracle working business, but the greatest miracle that God can ever give to us is to give us a vision, is to give us a dream, to give us the power, the authority, the understanding, the wisdom, the counsel, and the might to do the things that he's put on the inside of us. Somebody say, actualize your dream. And so now Joseph teaches us a few principles that we can apply to our individual and daily lives to help us to actualize or bring to fulfillment the dreams that God has put in our lives. First thing that we can learn from the story of Joseph, if you're taking notes, is found in verse 14 of the text. We read it already. The Bible says that Pharaoh sent and called Joseph. Pharaoh had his own dream. The butler finally came and tells him that Joseph had the ability to interpret dreams. And so Pharaoh sent and called Joseph. And they brought him quickly out of the dungeon, and he shaved, changed his clothing, and came to Pharaoh. The first thing, my brothers and sisters, that we have to do if we're going to actualize the dreams that God has put on the inside of us, number one is we have to be ready to move quickly when the opportunity presents itself. Now, God, he gives us the dream, he gives us the opportunity. But our responsibility is that we have to be ready to move quickly when he gives us the opportunity. Now look at the text. Joseph had been in jail for 2 whole years. He had interpreted the dream of the butler and the baker. The butler promised him, as soon as I get before the king, I'm going to tell him all about you, and you're going to be out of here. We're going to be living at large in the palace together. The butler goes up to the palace and forgets all about Joseph. And Joseph is left to stew in prison for 2 more years. And guess what? The moment Pharaoh calls for him, the Bible says they called him quickly, and Joseph was ready to go. The Bible says he shaved, he changed his clothes, and he came before Pharaoh. He wasn't so busy being frustrated over saying, oh Lord, it's taken so long for my dream to happen. I just been frustrated. Things aren't working out the way I thought they was going to work out. I thought I would be further along in life than I am right now. Seems like opportunity has passed me by. He wasn't sitting in his cell just stewing and reminiscing and crying over spilled milk. But when the call came, when Pharaoh made the call, Joseph was ready to go and meet his opportunity. And the problem that most of us have in life is that when opportunity comes, we are not ready. We say we're ready, but we're not ready. What would your life look like if someone said, I've come to you, I've got $1 million to invest in whatever idea you have, whatever plan you have? Would you be ready to move when the money comes? Would you be ready to move when the opportunity comes? Someone says, I want to hire you in your field. My brother here is a pre-med major. Suppose someone comes to you and say, I'm ready to let you into the most prestigious medical school in the country. Are you ready? Do you have your stuff in order? Do you have your personal statement written out, your publications? Do you have all of your things together, line upon line, precept upon precept, so that when the opportunity comes, you just be ready to move? Because when the opportunity comes, that's not the time to plan, that's the time to move. So you never know. God can open a door for you tomorrow that could literally change your life. God could send someone to you tomorrow that could shift the course of your entire life. But the question is, would you be ready? I know you say you have an idea for a business in your mind. I know you say that you have an idea for a book in your mind. I know you say you have an idea for all of these things that are just floating around in your mind. But the question is, if the opportunity were to present itself right now, would you be ready? How do you get ready? We talked a little bit about it on Sunday. We've got to plan for it. That means whatever your dream is, whatever your desire, whatever your vision, your goal is, you've got to now, while you're in that waiting period that Joseph found himself in, now you've got to be preparing yourself to get ready so that when the opportunity comes, you won't have to shuffle around and find stuff and line your ducks up in a row. Line the ducks up now, so that when the opportunity comes, you'll just be ready to move. I can imagine Joseph now with my sanctified imagination. The butler told him that he was going to go and talk to the king on his behalf. So every day I could imagine Joseph in his cell practicing what he was going to say to the king when the king came. Time passed, but he was still practicing. I'm going to stand up before the king, and I'm going to do like this, and I'm going to stand like this, and I'm going to wear this. He already had his clothes laid out. See, the Bible says he shaved, changed his clothes. He knew that he couldn't go before the king in the same stuff that he had on. So he had his plan already laid out, because remember, the call came quickly. Pharaoh called him quickly. He didn't have time to fumble around and say, oh, let me run out to Saks and buy me some clothes. No, he had to be ready to move immediately. And the way for us to actualize the dreams that God has put in our lives is to start planning now, to be ready for when the opportunity comes. Because, you know, the saying comes, opportunity only knocks once. If you don't answer the door, opportunity is going to someone else's house. And we have missed too many opportunities in our lives because we weren't ready to open the door. You know, someone came and rang your doorbell, and, you know, you just wasn't at home, or you weren't dressed properly, and you missed out on the blessing. What if Ed McMahon had come to your house? You know, back in the day before Ed McMahon was broke, you know, what if he'd come to your house with a $10 million check, knocked on your door, but you weren't ready to receive it? Jesus said, behold, I stand at the door and knock. Behold, opportunity is standing at the door and knocking. Are you ready to open the door to actualize your dream? And guess what? Opportunities present themselves to us every day. Every single day, some opportunity comes your way. The key is we have to be able to recognize the opportunities and then be ready to take advantage of them when they come our way. So the first thing, if we're going to actualize the dream, if our dream is not just going to be a pipe dream that later turns into a nightmare, first thing we have to do is we have to be ready to move quickly when the opportunity comes. Secondly, second thing that Joseph teaches us, if we're going to actualize the dreams, is number two, not only must we be ready, but we must remain humble when the opportunity comes. We must remain humble when the opportunity comes. Because a lot of us, when opportunity comes and things start shifting in our lives, we get the big head. Folks start changing when their circumstances start changing. We start thinking of ourselves more highly than we ought to think when opportunities start coming our way. Because along with opportunities comes options. And when options come, that means you have a decision to make. You have choice. When options show up, you now have choice, which means you have the choice to choose something, to accept, or to reject. Now, the power to reject something is a powerful thing. You know, when you can say no and reject stuff, it does something to you.